Hello again, this is Saul, and I'm here to show more features of VisiData, more ways VisiData can be used. I came across this guy's book called Reverse Engineering for Beginners, written by Denis Yurichev, and it seems like it's a pretty good book. He's got a bunch of information on here, reviews and everything, and he also, down here, lists the donors who have supported him, which I actually really appreciate his transparency here, that he will share all this information and put it on his website. And it made me curious as to how much money had been donated to him overall, how much value. So you'll notice that this information here is just kind of in a single line. It's actually not that bad, but it is not in a form that we could easily do something with. So we're going to use VisiData to take it apart and try to do a sum of how much money he had donated to him. So let's quit out of this, and I'm going to cut and paste this. And so we can just paste that into our terminal window here and pipe it into VisiData directly. And so now VisiData has that as one of its lines. If we reduce this column to just a few characters here, you can see it's quite a long field. If you wanted to view the field and see all the contents of it, you can edit it, and you can scroll across the whole thing if you really wanted to, but you can also press Ctrl-O to open the single editing cell. This works on any input line, and that will open it in your own editor. In this case, it's Vim in the terminal. And so you can see all the entire contents, and you can actually make edits and save them off, and then it'll be reflected back in the edit if you wanted to. I'm just going to quit out of this and then cancel the edit because I think everything's fine. So what we want to do, though, is even that one line, we want to split it up according to the individual donations. Each donation is separated by a comma, so we're going to use the split command, which is colon, and then the split regex is just a comma, and then that will create columns for every individual donation. And we're going to remove these both. We're going to hide this first column, and we're going to remove the bottom two rows, which are just cruft left over from the echo. And now we've got every donation in its own cell, which is a great start. This is a horizontal form of the data, and we do want the data to be in a vertical form because that's what VisiData expects. It's going to make our lives a lot easier for everything. So we're going to use a command in VisiData called melt. It's like an unpivot. It takes it from a horizontal form and swings it down into a vertical form. And so you can see the column names on the left and the column cell values on the right. And now we're ready to go. We can go over here to the value, and we're going to use another command on the semicolon key that matches according to regex. So we're going to pull out the donation amount from within the parentheses by constructing a regex here. This is just a standard or simple regex, so we're going to everything inside parentheses. And we want to use a capture group. So here's the inner set of parentheses here. And everything inside parentheses is going to be then pulled into a new column. And there we go. There's that column. We could, if we wanted to, we could just sum up this set of numbers. It wouldn't be very meaningful because they're all in different currency units, but we could do it. And there is a type. It's a $, which I call it a currency type, but it's really just a dirty float. It takes the initial non-numeric characters and the trailing non-numeric characters and strips them off and just converts it to a float without that. And so $, converts it to that. And the things that have a symbol in the middle can't be converted, so they're just errors, but that's fine. We'll ignore those for now. And so now we can deal with that as just a column of numbers. If you'll remember from last time, we used the plus to put an aggregator on a column, which then shows up in future sheets. Here, though, we're just going to use, that's the plus command. This is the z plus command, which applies an aggregator to the current column and just shows the result immediately. And so if we want to sum up the current column, it was z plus sum, and there we go. This is about 4,300 units of currency. Again, not very meaningful because they're all in different values. Since they are in different currencies, though, I went ahead and made a function called USD, and it takes a number and a currency code or currency symbol and then converts it into US dollars based on the current day's currency rates. So let's convert this back to a string. Tilde command looks like a string to me, so I'm going to do that, and that converts it back to a string like it originally was. And then now we're going to use the USD function on this value RE0 column, and that's going to do that calculation. And so we can see that, and I'm going to convert this USD into a float type. And then now we can see that, for instance, this 50 euros is actually $61 in US money. And then others that are already in US money just remain the same. And now we can do the same Z plus sum as we did before and see the value in US dollars as of today's rates. And that's about $1,470 worth of value. And that's the total donations that he got from people for his book. Not quite, because we're missing the ones with errors and stuff like that. We can do some more things to make that better, but this is a rough general calculation. Anyway, that's a pretty straightforward workflow. Thanks very much for using VisiData, and I will see you next time.